petit moment ensemble pour vous motiver avec un défi sur la semaine et puis faire un petit point technique si ça vous intéresse parce que voilà, c'est toujours bien de revenir un peu sur les bases. Donc, c'est super utile. Pédagogiquement aussi de bien
And that's it, you can't contact him again.
Voilà, et après je laisse les... rien sur la pratique, ça... Non, ça m'a été
experience.
attention à ce que vous faites, la slide, les défis. Tu vois, par exemple, tu peux leur faire imaginez, pour faire une mise en situation, là, deux personnes parmi vous font les ministres, les ambassadeurs, et un autre fait une photo. Comment vous faites dans cette pièce une belle photo? Tu vois? Tu vas voir comment ils se positionnent, tu verras où ils se mettent par rapport à une et tout, et tu vois ce que ça rend, et après, trop bien. Mais ouais, pas besoin de faire la partie stratégie, mais la partie presse, la partie photo vidéo et comment écrire un bien sur les réseaux sociaux.
News Italian photographers would be different things.
And there was no morning.
I'm very glad to be here at the invitation of our friend David Lammy in this Weimar Plus format that shows once again our strong European unity for our security and for the support of Ukraine. I'm speaking, of course, just after the historic visit by President Macron, the German Chancellor, the British Prime Minister, the Polish Prime Minister, in Ukraine, where they met with President Zelensky and reiterated their clear support for just and lasting peace in Ukraine. Our position is very clear. We want peace, we want negotiations. The precondition for this is, of course, to be able to have a truce, unconditional truce in the air, sea, ground, for 30 days that can create the space for negotiation. We've seen that President Zelensky has shown time and time again that he is open to negotiation, that he wants diplomacy, that he wants peace. This is something that he's stated many times. Meanwhile, Putin's only response has been more bombing, has been gaining time, has been closing its door to diplomacy and seriously and sincerely engaging in negotiation. And so right now we have a strong unity between Europeans, Americans, the Trump administration, and Ukrainians in asking for this truce and looking for diplomacy and then leading the way to the conditions for just and lasting peace, which will come with security guarantees for Ukraine and a strong, robust, independent Ukrainian army. The discussions today will be the opportunity to continue to discuss this, to talk about transatlantic security, European security, all the issues that we have been discussing in the last few months in this format that I think is very useful. We'll repeat once again our call for diplomacy and our call for massive sanctions on Russia if Russia once again refuses to engage seriously in diplomacy and continues its aggression and its war on the Ukrainian people in Ukraine. We'll have the opportunity maybe to debrief at the end, but with this, thank you very much. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be back in UK. Today we're going to discuss very important topics, including the EU-UK relations and, of course, what is happening in Ukraine and how can we really proceed with ceasefire and also peace in the end. So right now, I mean, we have seen what Putin has said, but what they have done, I mean, overnight, again, over 100 drone attacks on Ukraine. So in order to go into any peace talk, there has to be ceasefire. And we also need to see that Russia wants this, to show goodwill, to sit down and talk to Ukrainians. So it is not there. We have to put pressure on Russia to really want peace and to sit down and to talk with Ukraine. On EU-UK relations, we have the negotiations going on about the defense and security partnerships. I think this is very important in this very turbulent time that our very close partner, UK and EU, have this relationship also regarding defense and security. We already have a lot of cooperation points. We need to develop them further, so I'm hoping that we get this agreement signed in the UK summit that is coming up next week. Thank you.
BBC, can I ask, at that summit, what is the EU side looking for specifically from the UK in that partnership?
Specifically, we are looking into cooperation regarding cybersecurity, regarding crisis response cooperation, regarding different topics where we already exchange information, intelligence sharing, and all these parts that makes us both stronger.
And how significant a partnership do you think it will, a moment do you think it will be?
I think it's very important. We know that our relationship has had some difficult past over the past few years, and this is a good point considering what is going on in the world. We are the most likely partners, and that's why I think we need to move forward with this partnership.
You said for a few weeks already that Putin needs to come to the table. What other ways?
We have to put more pressure. On our side, we are working on the 17th sanctions package that should be adopted next week at the Foreign Affairs Council. But also, I'm very much welcoming the Senator Lindsey Graham sanctions package in the US. And I think when we are doing this together, then the effort that we do together will pressure Russia into the talks.
Would you like to see Putin on Thursday?
If they are continuing bombing Ukraine all the time, if there's no ceasefire, there can't be talks under fire. We want to see also that Russia wants peace. I mean, it takes two to want peace. It takes only one to want war. And we see that Russia clearly wants war. It has been over 2 months already when Ukraine agreed to unconditional ceasefire. Russia has just played games. So I think they are playing games right now as well. Yes, I think the moment is there. This is what really fuels their war machine to get their proceeds from oil and gas. So we should put more pressure on that because we all want this war to stop, and therefore all the efforts are needed. No, not within this week. This is the preparations are already ongoing when it comes to the 17th package of sanctions. But as soon as we get that adopted, we start to also prepare for the next one. And I think there, the United States is also a very important player.
Do you think that Donald Trump is more keen now on
Well, I think it is clear to everybody that we need to put the pressure on Russia because they are playing games. And in order to put the pressure, we have to use the tools that we have, and this is one of the tools. And therefore, I really welcome the sanctions package that Senator Lindsey Graham has put forward together with his Democratic counterpart. We have close cooperation with UK on various topics, and we are already in different parts together in crisis response management. So I think when we look around Europe, we look at Western Balkans, we look at different security theaters. These are also threats, or what is happening there also has an effect on UK as well as EU, and therefore it's also vital that we cooperate on different fields. Thank you very much.
Polish foreign minister is coming in next. So if any Polish media wants to make themselves closer to the front, that'd be great.
Good morning. Delighted to be here at Lancaster House. Very important meeting after the trip to Kiev of our heads of government. We have agreed to continue to be of service to the cause of peace. We hope that parties will find a way to cease fire and to have productive, real negotiations about ending this war and bringing back respect for international law. I'm here on behalf of Prime Minister Tusk. We hope to narrow down with the Foreign Minister of Ukraine as to what needs to happen, what, above all, the Russian Federation needs to do for this war to end.
Panie ministrze, prezydent Zełenski mówi, że pojedzie, będzie czekać w Turcji na prezydenta Putina, ale ceasefire, czyli zawieszenie broni, już nie utrzymuje ze strony rosyjskiej. Jaki jest sens, żeby jechał? Po co pan go namawiał, żeby jechał jednak, czy nie ma sensu teraz?
Tak, to kolejny dowód na to, że Ukraina okazuje dobrą wolę. Już ponad miesiąc temu prezydent Ukrainy zaakceptował bezwarunkowo 30-dniowe zawieszenie broni. A to Federacja Rosyjska wymyśla pomysły, dla których chce nadal kontynuować ataki na Ukrainę. My jako Zachód musimy wyciągać z tego wnioski, że to na agresora trzeba wywierać presję, aby porzucił swoje cele w Ukrainie, bo one są niewykonalne.
Panie ministrze, zamknął pan konsulat. Dlaczego i czy kiedykolwiek się pan spodziewał, że z takich powodów inne państwo podpala komuś budynek? Będzie pan musiał reagować?
Jest to oburzające, ale niestety nie zaskakujące, bo przypominam, że już poprzednio zamknąłem też rosyjski konsulat w Poznaniu po poprzednim akcie dywersji w Polsce, próbie podpalenia fabryki farb we Wrocławiu. Wczoraj ministrowie spraw wewnętrznych i sprawiedliwości pokazali czy oświadczyli, że mamy niepodważalne dowody na to, że ten olbrzymi pożar przy Marywilskiej został wykonany na zlecenie rosyjskich służb specjalnych. Tam cudem nikt nie zginął. Więc to nie jest zachowanie, które możemy tolerować. Polska, demokracje zachodnie nie dokonują w Rosji aktów dywersji. Więc Rosja nawet nie ma prawa do proporcjonalnych zachowań, mimo że oczywiście spodziewamy się, że je wykona. Zapewne. Proszę pamiętać, że w Unii Europejskiej nadal funkcjonuje ponad 2000 rosyjskich dyplomatów. I ja nie widzę, żeby w Krakowie było teraz wielu rosyjskich turystów. Spora część rosyjskich dyplomatów w Unii Europejskiej wykonuje zadania niezgodne ze statusem dyplomaty. My już ograniczyliśmy możliwość poruszania się rosyjskich dyplomatów, ambasady do Mazowsza, a pracowników konsularnych do swoich okręgów konsularnych. To jest kolejne przesłanie do władz rosyjskich. Wiemy, co robicie, nie akceptujemy tego i wyciągamy konsekwencje. Dlatego jeszcze raz apeluję do kolegów i koleżanek z Unii Europejskiej, aby zrobić to, co Polska i Republika Czeska. Mianowicie ograniczyć prawo do poruszania się dyplomatom rosyjskim do kraju, w którym są akredytowani, a najlepiej jeszcze węziej. Po to, żeby utrudnić im obsługiwanie agentury w innych krajach członkowskich. Rosjanie nie mają prawa do korzystania z dobrodziejstw strefy Schengen.
BBC programme said
Hello.
you're also preparing for the signing of the security partnership in a week's time with the UK. 5 years on from Brexit, does that mark some sort of a turning point?
And we are hoping and working during our presidency in the EU for the best possible relations between the European Union and Britain. Just last week, David Lammy was a guest of honor at the informal meeting of EU foreign ministers in Warsaw. This was Britain's return to the Gymnich. And now the leaders of the four countries traveled together in Kiev. We appreciate Britain's role in Ukraine. We appreciate the fact that Britain, moving faster, can do the right thing quickly and therefore give us the lead on doing what's right.
Will this mark some sort of return of the UK to European?
We need each other in the security area, and not just defense, broadly understood security area. You may not have picked up what I said in Polish. An hour ago, I took the decision to close down the Russian consulate in Krakow. This is because our Justice Ministry and security services have found proof that they were behind an act of arson in Poland a year ago. This was a huge fire of a shopping mall in Warsaw, in which just by sheer luck nobody was hurt. This is completely unacceptable. So the Russian consulate will have to leave. They'll have one more, and if these attacks continue, we'll take further action.
Politico, your fellow leaders here say that there can be no talks without a ceasefire. There's no ceasefire yet today. If there's none tomorrow, or the day after, or the day after, how long until you might have to change tack?
Well, it's regrettable, but Putin is showing us yet again who is the aggressor and who is the victim, who wants peace and who wants war, and we should draw the conclusions. I can't read Vladimir Putin's mind. If I were him, I wouldn't have started this criminal invasion. It was made on hyper-optimistic assumptions which have all proven wrong. I think in Britain you have a saying that after 8 years every prime minister goes mad. Well, he's been in charge for over 20 years, and I suspect that he's fed ultra-optimistic information about the state of the Russian economy or the state of the Russian army. He's sacrificing tens of thousands of soldiers to capture a village or two. It would be sensible to end this misfortune, this criminal war, but Mr. Putin is not sensible. Well, if he yet again rejects a ceasefire, then the logical conclusion is that pressure should be brought to bear not on the victim of aggression, but on the perpetrator of aggression until he feels the pain and becomes more reasonable.
You mean which kind of pressure? Secondary sanctions?
Well, I agree with General Kellogg, the US Special Representative on Ukraine, when he said that on a scale of 1 to 10, as regards sanctions, we're at 6, and as regards implementation, we're at 3. We could do much more, and we should. Thank you very much.
We'll have the Spanish Prime Minister arriving in just over 10 minutes.
Good morning. I will speak in Spanish first on behalf of the Spanish media. Acudimos los miembros del G5 Plus aquí a Londres a una nueva reunión, en primer lugar, para apoyar la paz en Ucrania y, en segundo lugar, para apoyar a Ucrania en su defensa de su soberanía y la libertad. El presidente Zelensky, unido con todos los europeos, ha hecho una propuesta clara, firme, incondicional, un alto el fuego de 30 días que debería de empezar hoy. Los europeos queremos la paz, Ucrania quiere la paz. Es el momento de que Rusia y Vladimir Putin respondan, si quieren la paz, si aceptan esa tregua incondicional de 30 días, que sería un primer paso hacia lo que todos queremos, que es una paz duradera, justa, acorde con los principios de la Carta de las Naciones Unidas. Y, mientras tanto, los europeos, y hoy lo vamos a reafirmar, vamos a seguir apoyando a Ucrania tanto tiempo como sea necesario para que conquiste esa paz, para que conquiste definitivamente su libertad y su soberanía con todos los medios que tenemos a nuestro alcance. Un apoyo de todas las maneras posibles, incluido el equipamiento militar, un refuerzo de las sanciones, la utilización de los activos rusos congelados en nuestras manos y, por supuesto, la defensa del derecho internacional humanitario y de la Carta de las Naciones Unidas. The Europeans of the G5 Plus group, we come here today to London to a new meeting for two things. First, to support peace in Ukraine, and secondly, to support Ukraine in its struggle for its freedom and its sovereignty. The Europeans, we want peace. Ukraine and the government of President Zelensky want peace. Now it's up to Russia and Vladimir Putin to give their answer. Do they want peace? President Zelensky, together with all of us, has put on the table a very clear proposal. A ceasefire, unconditional, for 30 days. That will be the first step towards what we want, a lasting and just peace. And a lasting peace can only be based on the very basic principles of the United Nations Charter. And meanwhile, and we are going to express that today at the table, we are ready to continue supporting Ukraine as long as it takes in its struggle for peace, for its sovereignty, for freedom, and we'll do it in all and with all possible means, including military equipment, and also reinforcing sanctions with the use of the Russian frozen assets that are in our hands. It's time for peace, but it's also time to support Ukraine, because in Ukraine we are defending the very basic principle of the United Nations Charter, the dignity of Europe and also the security of Europe. Today around the table, we all want peace. We all support the proposal of the ceasefire, unconditional ceasefire for 30 days. We are waiting for the answer of Vladimir Putin without any further delay.
Would you advise President Zelensky to go to Istanbul and wait for Putin, even if he's not coming?
It's up to President Zelensky to decide. He is a democratic elected president of a sovereign government, so it's up to him. It's most to the Russian and Vladimir Putin that I would talk to. He must accept this unconditional ceasefire. If the conditions are met, this ceasefire, of course, is not an end in itself. It's a first step towards a just and lasting peace, and therefore the meeting in Istanbul, of course, would have sense. But if the meeting in Istanbul is just a way of delaying and really kicking the ball down the street, then it's worthless. Thank you very much. Sí.
¿Qué medidas concretas ha estudiado el Gobierno y va a presentar ante esta mesa para incrementar la presión sobre Vladimir?
Lo estamos trabajando todos los europeos conjuntamente. Hace mucho tiempo que todos trabajamos conjuntamente, solidariamente, en Bruselas, en el seno de la Unión Europea, junto con el Reino Unido y, por supuesto, junto con Ucrania. Y están ahí. Seguiremos apoyándole con todo tipo de ayuda económica, ayuda humanitaria, equipamiento militar, el refuerzo de las sanciones, y también España lo ha puesto varias veces encima de la mesa, hoy lo volveremos a hacer, el uso de los activos rusos congelados, que desde luego tienen que seguir en nuestras manos.
Are you concerned about the lack of, let's say, interest by the United States in Europe and in Ukraine? I mean, for instance, in Spain, this week we have the news that there won't be as many ships from the US Navy in Rota as expected.
After the meeting of last Saturday of the different leaders, they had a very meaningful conversation with President Trump, and we were more or less on the same page. But we don't have to wonder so much what others will do. What we have to decide is what Europeans we are going to do, and that's what we will be discussing today. And last question before I go. Sí. Yo creo que negociaciones de paz sin un alto el fuego previo no son negociaciones de paz seria. Hay una propuesta seria, concreta, un alto el fuego de 30 días, que es incondicional. Eso es lo que demuestra quién quiere la paz, como la quiere el presidente Zelensky, Ucrania y los europeos, y quién prefiere la guerra. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
So we don't expect the Italians to be here for about another 40 minutes. You're welcome to go back downstairs to the basement to get any refreshments, but would you just please make yourself known to my colleagues over there, and they can escort you downstairs if you do want to go back downstairs to the basement.